Hi everyone, happy Friday, and if you are watching this today, I'm talking about recovery. So this sort of principle, the pregnancy principle, can be applied about anything, not just alcohol, not just drugs, not just cigarettes, gambling, but recovery from food addiction as well. And that is the current course that I'm doing, Full From Within, where a lot of the people that are a part of the community struggle with food addiction. I've been working in the field of bariatrics for the last 8 years, so I have definitely worked with a lot of people that struggle with food addiction. And so I'm going to talk to you about this pregnancy principle today and how it applies to recovery. And if you're struggling with any sort of addiction, whether it be alcohol, drugs, pot, cigarettes, food, anything, this principle can really help you, especially in the first year during recovery. So Laura McCowan, she has a blog. She's amazing. She's in Recovery Blog, and she has the Home podcast. And she came up with the concept of the pregnancy principle, which I really love and use a lot with clients. And what this pregnancy principle is that this idea that when you're pregnant, think about, what do all doctors and providers tell you if you're pregnant or you've had a partner that's pregnant? They say for the next 10 months you should just worry about you, don't do anything that's too stressful, don't do anything that's too harmful, and rest. Feed your body, be intuitive in terms of what it needs, and just do you for the next 10 months. And that's one of the things that I think is, quite frankly, just awesome about being pregnant, is that it's all about self-care. It's all about you and the baby. It's all about you tuning into what your body needs, what your mind needs, and being able to say no when you don't feel like doing something. And for some reason, this wire gets crossed in recovery, and people feel like they can't ask for the same self-care, or they can't take the same self-care when they're recovering, which is simply not true, and it's harmful to the process. So the idea of the pregnancy principle, when applied to food addiction, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, all of that, is that in the first year of recovery, you really want to do anything that supports your process and anything that is unproductive or even triggering for your recovery to say no to. To also be okay with saying no to people, and people being mad maybe that you're cutting out of a party early, or that you say no to a potluck because you know there's going to be tons of comfort foods and yummy foods there that are going to get you into trouble. So being able to recognize, one, what your triggers are, and then being able to just sort of say no right now. It doesn't mean that you're checking out of life. It just means that this is where you are in the process. This is just where you are in the process. And conversely, if you're pregnant, you might be able to run a marathon at 3 months. At 6 months, not so much. So it's the same principle here in recovery, that there are some things that you can do at certain points, and at other points, not so much. And it doesn't necessarily go in chronological order, meaning you may not necessarily be triggered if you go to a potluck early on in your recovery because you're gung-ho, you're motivated, you're strong, you're working the coping tools, you're working your therapy. But 6 months down the road, you might be triggered because things aren't so new anymore, and the honeymoon's over in terms of the recovery. The newness has worn off, and you're more likely to be triggered. So understanding and giving yourself that parameter of the first year of recovery, just allowing yourself to tune in to whatever it is that you need. When you're pregnant, or if you've ever been pregnant, or you've known someone that's been pregnant, you can probably watch them sort of relax a little bit, and they stop shoulding on themselves. They stop saying, I should be doing this, I should be exercising, I should be cooking my other kids healthy meals, I should be cleaning the house, and they just sort of are. And they read books, and they eat Sour Patch Kids and root beer, or at least I did. They just sort of do whatever they want. And that is the yummy part of recovery, is that you get to have this year of self-indulgence where You can say no. You can bow out of a party early. You can say no to the company picnic or the coworker's birthday party that's going to have cake and ice cream there. If it's alcohol, you can say no to drinks after work. You can say no to having alcohol in your home for others. You can always say no, especially when it's coming from a place of wanting to self-care and support your recovery process. So if you're struggling with this concept of what is this going to look like and what am I going to do now? Like, how am I going to even go to a party? Why would a party even be fun now without food or alcohol? Why would why are the holidays fun now without food? I don't even want to do any of that. You know what? You don't have to. Allow yourself that parameter of the year to just say no for a little bit. Our entire goal in this year is getting the frontal cortex back in the throne. The midbrain, the addicted brain, the reptilian brain is the one that is ruling the show right now. And so we get that confused with what we want. And it's not what we want, it's what the addicted mind wants. So if you give the mind that year period of time, you're gonna allow your brain to return back to that healthy state of balance. You're gonna be able to make more clear decisions. And you're also probably gonna be feeling the benefits of recovery, of not overloading your body and your organs with too much of the wrong thing, and feel how good it feels to be in a healthy place. Whether it be recovery from alcohol and just not having hangovers and not being foggy and not having blackouts, or recovery from food where you don't feel full, you don't feel out of control, you don't feel ashamed, and feeling really healthy and balanced. So I hope that helps in terms of recovery. Pregnancy principle for the next year, it's all you, baby. All right, thanks guys, happy Friday.